There's something in here. It's in here! Help me!
What the? Oh my god. Oh, and the game effing crashes. Come on!
Welcome back, everyone. For Halloween, we're going to take a look at a game I remember trying to play when I was younger, but only got about 5 minutes in and thought it was too scary to play. The Suffering. Released in 2004 for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and PC. This first and third-person shooter horror game was published by Midway Games and developed by Surreal Software, makers of the Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring video game? Okay then. The Suffering does a great job feeling like a survival horror type video game at the start. However, once you get some weapons like the Tommy gun and shotgun, the game turns more into an action shooter with some horror elements. I did play on easy, which explains the crazy amount of ammo and health pills. Seriously, I rarely ever ran out of ammo and always had plenty of pills to use if I took damage. The game has a simple story, but depending on your choices throughout the game will determine which 3 endings you will get. As usual, we're going to go through the story, so spoiler warning, what I liked and disliked, and any funny or awkward moments that happened to me during my playthrough. Let's go survive Carnate Island.
Oh my god!
So, before we can play, this game is not optimized, and I'm actually surprised GOG is selling this game without fixing it. If you buy it right now, the first issue some people might run into is the game won't play because of your monitor. The game refused to use my 1920 by 1080 monitor, instead choosing my second monitor, which is 1600 by 900. I even tried unplugging it, but the game would just tell me it can't work with this display monitor. There are patches claiming to fix the resolution issue, but none worked for me. Next issue is the game will crash. I even read on the forums someone played through the entire game with crashes happening every 20 minutes. To fix this, you'll need to download the AIO patch, link in the description. Extract it into the game folder and say yes to all. If the game still crashes like it did for me, then you'll need to go into the games folder and delete game files labeled D-Sound. After that, I never had a crash. Some people complain that they had less than 60 frames per second, but at least the game is playable now, so I guess pick your poison, PC Master Race. You play as a silent protagonist called Torque, who's on death row for murdering his ex-wife and 2 children, but cannot remember the events. After a quick earthquake, strange creatures begin killing prisoners and prison guards. Throughout the game, you'll have to make choices, usually involving killing or saving people. The choices you make will determine which of the 3 endings you'll get. These endings will reveal how Torque's family truly died. As you play through the game, you'll unlock new and more powerful weapons, including throwable items like grenades or Molotovs. I really did like the design of the enemies you encounter. I'll go more in depth with them as we go through the story. The only thing I dislike is the boss fights. Most were easy, more like mini-bosses. Some were obvious how to beat them, but others weren't as clear what you needed to do. Only through trial and error did I figure out how to beat them. Other than that, it's a pretty straightforward game. It does have a few puzzles to solve, but nothing too complicated. Just good old kill enemies and keep moving forward. To keep the horror going, they usually will just flash creepy images and a sudden sound at you, which was scary at first, but after a while it became annoying. Alright, let's get on with the story. We start off with a cutscene of our silent protagonist Torque being escorted to his cell at Abbott State Penitentiary. One guard is named Ernesto, who talks about Torque and how he killed his wife and 2 kids.
He beat his ex-wife to a bloody pulp, killed her with his fists. Then he drowned one son in the tub and threw the other out a window.
Then we get to meet a few other death row inmates. Suddenly an earthquake hits the prison and cuts the power. Then Slick gets killed by something.
What the hell's going on?
Followed by Goose, then Floyd, and whatever his name was. A monster runs by, breaking the cell door. First thing to do is run up to the entrance and watch a guard get killed by something. Then we go into Slick's room and pull a shiv out of him. This is our first weapon. You strike enemies in front of you, but beware, you kinda get locked into animation with it. You can look at a TV screen and see what's going on, but it's not clear what is killing everybody. Explore around and find lots of blood and dead bodies everywhere. So far, great setup. I'm terrified of what I'm going to be fighting. Another guard shows up, but he too gets killed by something with swords. Another security camera shows something running around. Open the door with the big red button and head down the hall to encounter yet another guard getting killed, and finally getting to see what's killing these guards. Some sort of creature with swords for arms and legs. They do have a charge attack, so watch out for that. Shank the monster with your shiv and then open this door to find a prison guard. He will point his gun at you, but then Torque will hear his wife Carmen telling him to give the guard a chance, while demonic voices tell Torque to kill the guard. This is where you have a choice to make. Kill him or help him. I decided to go the good route and not kill anyone. The guard won't shoot and tells you to get a flashlight down the hall. Find it on the table and get some batteries from the locker. Head back and the guard goes downstairs. More of those things show up, but easy to take out. When you see Carmen flash on screen, it means you completed the good choice. Then you hear something calling for help. The guard opens the door and gets electrocuted. You can walk over and pick up his revolver. Looks like the electric chair. Spoiler alert, this is a boss fight room, but it's for later in the game. Head back and go into this room.
Oh, man.
I always looked at their bodies when I was done.
Sometimes you might hear a phone ring and it might be Carmen or Torque's kids. Sometimes it might be other characters. Explore around and see that big creature again. However, it's gone. Then fight some more of these creatures called Slayers. This could be a representation of people that were killed by beheadings. Once they're all dead, you need to place this statue in the doorway to prevent the door from closing, but open the other door. Then find a guard trapped inside the gas chamber. Continue on.
Oh, God. Jesus.
Continue on.
Oh! Yeah, let's follow.
Continue on and fight more Slayers. Then you'll see that gas man again who activates the gas chamber. The door opens and fills the chamber with gas. A big Slayer will break the glass, so you just run through it to escape the gas. Now we head down into the basement of the prison. A cutscene plays and we get introduced to the gas man first. His name is Hermes and was the former executor at Abbott Prison. He insisted on using the gas chamber to kill people. He died in the very gas chamber he killed people in. Next we meet Horace, who, long story short, killed his wife because he thought the only way to protect her from the world was to kill her. He was executed by the electric chair, and his spirit is forced to relive this execution over and over again. Lastly, we meet Dr. Killjoy, who was a doctor that tried to cure patients of their illness, but his methods were sometimes cruel and led to the death of patients. Fun fact, Horace and Killjoy are voiced by the same actor, John Armstrong, who does a lot of voice work for video games, specifically Han Solo in Star Wars games. Anyway, they want to know what's wrong with Torque, and what makes him so special. So you need to kill all the Slayers that come into the room.
What the heck? Oh, come on!
Until this little bar fills up, then transform into that creature we've been seeing running around the prison. You become a powerful melee creature. You take out Slayers like they're nothing. This is basically your ultimate ability. Use it wisely. Continue following the path and take out more Slayers to come across a guard that's blindfolded and tied to a wooden post, then is shot by a machine gun. Our next creature is the Marksman, a representation of a firing squad and the victim since it looks like he's blindfolded and covered in bullet wounds. They're mainly easy to kill since they take a few seconds to plant themselves, then will try and shoot at you. Move to cover or sidestep to dodge their bullets. Then we come into a room that looks like a World War II bunker, and hear a soldier tell his general they can't execute their own men, but the leader claims they're Nazi spies. Then we find a Tommy gun. Really nice for spraying down lots of enemies. Next area we watch Dr. Killjoy injecting a prisoner. If you watch the camera you can watch Killjoy do it, but in the real world you can't see him. After leaving the room, another prisoner opens the exit door. Apparently it's a guy named Dallas, and both of you were at another prison together called Eastern. Of course the voices are back. Carmen says to help him, the evil ones want you to kill him.
He needs your protection.
He's a parasite. Enemies will spawn to attack you and Dallas, so keep him alive. Continue on the path protecting Dallas and he will take you to the eastern cell blocks. You'll find a Slayer with a bunch of needles all over it and some guards. Anyway, we see a Slayer get attacked by some small creature with needles all over it. Look around, and after exploring this basement and killing this Slayer, you'll open this door and have a quick vision of one of Torque's kids. Then head back up and a cutscene will play of Dallas walking up to a puddle of blood, then get attacked by one of those creatures with needles. These are called mainliners and are a representation of lethal injection. They will either throw a needle from range or try and jump on you. After dying, they leave a cloud of toxic fumes on their dead bodies. Collect some supplies, then move on to find Carmen.
Oh, hello.
Next room is the showers. The mainliners will spawn from the puddles. So keep moving and try not to waste ammo because they will keep spawning. Shoot this fire extinguisher to put out the fire. Make your way outside and find guards, slayers, and mainliners all fighting each other. You'll find 3 prisoners, but they don't trust you, so they attack. You might walk all the way here to this puddle of electric water. There's no way past, so you need to go backtrack to here and push this box to this small shed to jump on top of it.
To survive this place, you gotta become it. I tried to fight it, but it's no use.
You'll find your way back inside and fight some enemies, then find these 2 prisoners. They need you to help them before someone called Hargrave comes back.
Oh man, you're here. You gotta save us before Hargrave gets back. You gotta cut us down.
I don't think so. My prisoners never make it out alive.
So this is a boss fight. It's not too difficult. Just kill the wave of guards and hide under the stairs for cover. Hargrave shoots his minigun in bursts. Just time it to run upstairs and then shoot him from the hole above him to get him off the turret. He'll come up after you, but he dies really fast. Then get on the turret to fight off the huge wave of slayers. I actually had fun with this turret section. That's a surprise. Anyway, continue on, and this appears to be like a garage of sorts. Just need to climb up here and open the doors, but something explodes, so you need to go through this door. Next area, we see Hermes for a moment, but you'll notice the guards using lights on the slayers, which sets them on fire. Then take out this marksman to have an image of Carmen flash, meaning you did a good thing. Then some prisoners said they're busting out, but Hermes kills them.
No. You cannot escape what I bring about.
Keep moving forward to encounter some guards that will shoot at you from the tower. Use the lights to save some ammo and kill all the enemies. Then find a guard taking out enemies with a shotgun. Then another guard tries to avenge him, but he also gets taken out. So go get a shotgun he dropped. Shotguns are great for killing enemies up close, especially blowing them into pieces. Now we get into a new cell block with lots of hanging guards, and the place is on fire. Find this office and set the prisoners free to get good points. You'll find a room to talk to Carmen where she says she's pregnant and filing a divorce. Then Slayers attack. Next room, Killjoy wants to see if you can figure out how to escape. So first thing is go into this other room and spin the wheel to activate the sprinklers, then pull this vending machine on top of the drain to get the water to put out the fire. Continue on and a guard gets strangled by a new kind of creature called noosemen. They represent people who were hung to death. You'll see a puddle of blood on the ceiling, which means if you walk under, they will drop down and grab you. This was a pretty creative idea, but also annoying. You'll need to stay on your toes, and gives me a reason to be in first-person view so I can check the ceiling for surprising noosemen. You continue on fighting more enemies and make your way into a cave, then appear back into the prison, and then on the roof. You run into a guard who's really scared. You can kill him for evil points or just ignore him for good points. This next area has a ton of slayers, but watch out, I fell to my death a couple of times.
No, 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 no! Oh my god, really?
You can use the lights against the slayers up here, just need to turn them on. It seems like you're supposed to go down here, but the door is locked. What you need to do is push this box to cause an explosion. Head on down and fight enemies on this baseball field. You'll see Cartman for a moment. Then head over to this trailer, climb up the ladder, and jump to this other roof, then enter this door. Next area you fight some slayers and mainliners, then get back outside. You'll find some guards who will shoot at you, but I let the last one get attacked by a slayer. Continue on and you'll see something underground moving around. You'll get to a quarry and climb up to a cave entrance. When you go inside, you'll meet a guard who says to be quiet because they can hear your footsteps. I thought this means I need to walk in order to not be heard by this new creature, but it comes anyway. This new enemy is called a burrower. They represent all the prisoners that were buried alive at this quarry. They tunnel around you and will pop up to attack. You only have a few seconds to dodge and attack them. So just stay on the move like most of the enemies we've been fighting so far. Head into the cave and set off the TNT, then fight more enemies. You'll then get to the next quarry and find some guards holding off some slayers. You can move the crane to seal the hole, but for some reason all the guards die. Also, don't try jumping on that rock.
God damn it.
Walk over the glowing sealed hole and continue on to activate more TNT to advance forward. Getting to the top, you can move this crane to help a prisoner to safety. However, I dropped down, which was a mistake, so I had to head back up, then use the crane to place the rock in a different spot, to jump to it, then jump to the other side. Now we get introduced to two little girls.
Has the devil trapped you? You're not a bad man. You have to believe.
They then start a fire with their teddy bear. Anyway, use the crane to knock over the water tower. Then head inside the cave to come out the other side. There's a hole in the fence right here. Make your way over this wall and see Carmen. She talks about how they first met. It's not that important, but burrowers attack afterward. Then you arrive at a mansion with lots of enemies. Also, throughout this area, images of what looks like ink blops pop up. Anyway, you go inside and we get trapped by Killjoy's projectors. He welcomes us to the Asylum, or as he puts it, the carnate institution for the tragically troubled, the impossibly insane, and the diabolically disturbed. I will say, this big house was scary to run around in. You will trigger another cutscene and Killjoy says Torque must prove himself. Not sure exactly what, but I did some exploring.
Oh, God.
Find this room to activate this device to change the monster back into Torque. Then drop down. Killjoy says some stuff that I have no idea what he means. Just kill the enemies, then grab the axe, destroy this projector with a gun, then move this away to knock the shelves over. This will unblock the door. Then break these wooden planks to drain the water and activate the generator. Then go find this room. Killjoy says some stuff again, I don't know if it's important. You fight some more enemies and watch out for the noosemen. Break this rope to escape the room. I keep looking around and find this room where the ink blots are. Destroy the projector, then head back down to this hallway and see the monster again. Each room has something in it, but all you need is this box to get up here. The last room is disturbing.
Jump scare? Oh.
Anyway, it looks like we are in the attic. In here, you'll bring down some type of device. But as you head back, Killjoy will block the exit and Slayers as well as mainliners spawn. Easy enough to take out. Then destroy the projector and move the other one away to drop back down into the house. Now we get to the final room. Killjoy reveals he has a creature of pure rage and strength, which is a representation of the evil monster inside Torque. When you walk inside, Killjoy will bring back the Slayers, so you need to destroy the projectors in the room. This one you'll need to right-click to throw a grenade, then destroy the rope for the last cage. Finally, stand underneath to get a strange glowing power. You then throw it at the monster, which it turns back into Torque. Then just hop out the window.
Oh! Jeez. Hate that.
You can head into this maze. You'll see Torque's kids running around. Getting to the center has some stuff for you. Then the two girls show up, but run off. As you leave the gate, you'll hear someone fighting these creatures. As you take out enemies and keep watching the flashing images, you can drop down here if you like and follow the river. It seems like the way to go, especially with Torque's kids running off into the water, but this is a trap. Enemies spawn and you can't shoot while in the water. You need to head back to this car and get it off the rock. It'll slide down and now you can jump on it to get to the other side. Then head down to the water and watch a prisoner take out some Slayers. You can walk up to him and he says his name is Clem. Again, the voices want you to kill him, but Carmen says to help him. You'll follow Clem and then watch a cutscene of a Slayer killing a mainliner, and then we get introduced to a new enemy. These things are called festers. They represent the slaves that were on a slave ship that crashed on this island and were left chained inside the ship and were eaten by rats. They are slow and easy to outrun, but they will spawn an army of rats that will chase after you. You can shoot at the rats to kill them, but that will use up a lot of ammo. Instead, try running to the side and they will jump past you and explode. As for the festers, you need to use explosives or molotovs to kill them. Nothing else will work. Well, Clem does say you can melee them, but they have a powerful melee attack, which, speaking of Clem, has weird AI behavior. He ran at the festers either like a badass or a dumbass, especially since he died the first time. So I reloaded a save and tried to keep him alive. There are a lot of festers that spawn from the ocean, but they are easy to kill. It's the rats that spawn from them that offer a bit of a challenge, especially keeping them off Clem. Eventually you escort him to this little raft. Of course, it only fits one person. He says the festers are coming from the wreck. So I climb up and I thought I started a fire, which was enough for Clem to escape, but I never got the Carmen notification. So Clem is probably still sitting on that raft, waiting for me to burn that slave ship. Anyway, get to the top and walk into this pipe. Next area has Horace show up and says this place needs torque. Horace helps by opening the door. Now you need to run away from the rats that will keep on spawning.
Dodge. Oh god! Dodge, dodge, dodge. Okay, I get it. You gotta run. You gotta run.
So we're back inside the prison, and this area looks familiar. Horace will open a new door for you. Keep backtracking to the electric chair room. It's sort of a boss fight with Horace, but you're actually trying to free him. You need to jump over this shockwave. Then when the shield around the 4 panels disappears, you shoot them. Horace talks about his story during all of this. Once all 4 are destroyed, turn the machine off.
Thank you.
Then head over to the gas chamber to see Hermes. He says we will see each other again. Head upstairs and keep following the path back to the prison cell you started the game in. Go up to the cell with the light and listen to each kid and Carmen talk about torque. Then walk into your cell. Suddenly an explosion happens and 2 enemies will walk in. Take them out and head through the hole. Once again it feels like we're backtracking, but there's a new opening over here. Head outside and 2 COs are fighting some festers. I accidentally killed them when they charged in, so after a quick reload I saved them this time. Looks like we are back in the courtyard. This building looks familiar, but a fester will destroy the gate to let you advance. Then another quick turret section, until getting to this bus. Just shoot the wooden block to let the bus ram the gate. Then hop on top of it to escape. A cutscene will trigger of prisoners trying to escape, but Hermes scares them off the road.
Christ!
Escaping isn't as simple as just getting outside. But I don't need to tell you that. You know there is no real escape.
Then fight some enemies and walk down here and follow the path. You'll encounter more enemies, but eventually you'll hear the soldier and his general ordering the firing squad to shoot. Man the turret and take out all the marksmen. They keep on spawning for a while, so keep shooting. Then continue on to someone throwing TNT at you. Follow the tunnel and watch for festers, noosemen,
Oh god.
and whoever is still throwing TNT at you. Eventually you'll come across a bunker with a rotted body and hear the military general. He locked himself in there after getting court-martialed. Then another room with a turret, so get to shooting lots of enemies again. Developers, turret sections aren't that much fun. I think once, maybe twice is fine, but at least make it interesting. Anyway, go through the hole in the wall. You'll find the guy who was throwing the TNT. Just throw some at the wall and he will be free. Then just follow him down the tunnel. Watch out for the nooseman.
Oh god. Really?
This prisoner mentions a bunker to hide out in. Follow him and help him fight off some more enemies.
Oh god. I hate... Oh come on. I didn't even get a chance.
Both of you eventually find it, but Hermes shows up and poisons the guy. Time for another boss fight. You need to block all the air vents before you die from the gas. Turn some valves, push some boxes, shoot some rope. Eventually you need to wait for Hermes to appear here, then turn this valve to shove him into the furnace, then close the door to win. Make your way to the exit, then the game bugged out on me. I climbed this ladder, and it appears the game didn't load properly. I drop back down, and close this door, then climb up, and now everything is fine. Now things aren't very clear. You can hear on the radio to restart the lighthouse, so I go upstairs and try to, but the machine seems stuck. So I look around and see planks stuck in the gears and destroy them, but still it won't turn. I do hear the little girls outside running around. After a while of trying, I give up on the lighthouse and go down there. And now the little girls are on fire. I thought I was getting shot at, but turns out it's a CO helping me kill these flaming girls. They're called Infernas, and I would say they represent people that were burned at the stake. Once they turn to ash, you need to finish their ashes off, otherwise they will come back to life. The CO that helped you is actually Ernesto, from the beginning of the game. He of course doesn't like you at all and doesn't trust you. You follow him to this gate, and he says after those monsters began killing everyone, he ran to the town that's just past this gate, his house was on fire, and his wife and girls were nowhere to be seen. He then thinks both of you should try and survive together. He takes you to a graveyard with more Infernas, then takes you to this area with a pit that spawns slayers infinitely. So go in here and climb the ladder to activate this light in order to stop them from respawning, and it will start a fire and create an entrance in the fence. Then activate the generator and head back to the lighthouse. For some reason Ernesto got stuck over here, so I ran all the way to the lighthouse, turned it on, then ran back, and now Ernesto continues on with me. Horace shows up and opens the gate for us. You're probably wondering if Ernesto actually saw Horace.
What was that? Lightning? It almost hit us. Well, at least we can make it through the gates now. Come on.
Continue on and fight more enemies until you get to this tunnel. Kill the Infernas, then jump over this gate to destroy the pipe. There's a vent, so cover it with a box. Now just wait for the area to flood and the path will clear. Further down the road there's a cliff, and no obvious way across. At first nothing happened, so I thought maybe I need to jump into the water, but no, that instantly kills you. Standing near the cliff triggers the cutscene. Hermes shows up again and says Torque isn't a real killer like him, but he decides to help him and summons a bus? Well, it crashes and we can get across now. By this point, Ernesto may not have much health left, which he died the first time, so I reloaded and tried again. This time we make it to the town. Follow Ernesto, but you get separated by fire. Take out the Infernas, then Ernesto says for Torque to get to the dock to escape. He's gonna go and look for his family. Continue on and we get to the final area. Killjoy shows up and says he has the cure for Torque. Then one of his kids comes out of the building and runs down to the dock. Load up on ammo inside the small building, then head down for the final confrontation. Depending on your choices, the dialogue changes here. You'll know which ending you have based on the dialogue. I got the good ending, so Torque's first kid says there was a man wearing black clothes, but he couldn't see him.
Oh, Daddy, I wish you could have been there. I know you would have kept us safe.
Then Torque's monster shows up. First I tried transforming, but I died super fast. Next attempt I thought I had to do something special to defeat him, but all I needed to do was just shoot the monster. Mainliners will continue to spawn, but at the time it wasn't clear to me what I needed to do. I even got stuck at one point.
Really? Thank you.
Then randomly the monster just died. So Torque's next kid says they killed his kids and wife to get to Torque.
I forgive you, Dad. You couldn't keep us safe forever. I just wish I could have said goodbye.
Then the monster shows up again, but transforms into Torque with a Tommy gun.
Oh, really? Really? What is that?
Well, now that I know what to do with Phase 1, it feels like a joke. As for Phase 2, it wasn't obvious at first what I needed to do. Every time I shot at him, I only hurt myself. So after trying out everything and looking everywhere in this small area, I realized I needed to try and transform into the monster. So now Phase 2 is easy. Carmen says Torque just had the worst luck, but she knows he would never hurt her and the boys no matter how angry he got. Well, at least we get a giant boss fight. This thing looks like a combination of all the monsters we've faced in this game. Once again, I'm not sure what we need to do at first, but it became clear. You need to lower the crane so you can get those colored flames to throw at the boss. The giant red spot is an obvious target. After a while, it will die. We then get the full vision of what actually happened. Torque found a man killing his wife, then another man drowned one of his kids in the bathtub. One of the men said something about the Colonel sends his regards back at Eastern. He had warned Torque, but didn't listen. They were ordered to kill his family, but leave Torque alive. Then Torque sees his other kid was thrown out the window. The Coast Guard arrives and picks up Torque.
Don't mind me, I'm just glowing a blue fire.
The guy then says the prosecutor on Torque's case was being indicted, so he may get a new trial. I'm assuming you guys want to know the other endings. The neutral ending is Torque accidentally kills his wife during an argument where she fell and hit her head on a table, which one of his kids saw what happened, then decided to go drown his brother in the bathtub, then jump out the window to kill himself. The Coast Guard arrives and begins boating off, but Torque takes him out and steers the boat to wherever he wants. The evil ending is Torque remembers killing his wife, drowning one kid, then throwing the other one out the window. When the Coast Guard arrives, he transforms into the monster and kills the Coast Guard. In conclusion, The Suffering is a decent game. The only thing I liked was the design of the creatures. Otherwise, the game didn't really do much for me. It had some jump scares here and there, and the choices you make in the game add some replay value. In its current state, I can't recommend the game since it may not work depending on what monitor you're using, and even if the game does run, it might crash a lot. So once again, GOG needs to do something about that. However, I will say it did not feel like a waste of time, and it is worth playing at least once, especially during Halloween. I'm sure I'll get comments saying I have the brightness too high, which I agree, I rarely had to use the flashlight. So don't be like me and turn the brightness and contrast down to get surprised more often. Next month will be a PlayStation 2 game. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe to help grow my channel, and comment below on what you thought, and check out some of my other videos. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.